Okay, y'all, this is 2 Nile, and this is my boy Skipper Roy, and we're here to do a chapter review of chapter 1170 of One Piece of the Elbaf arc.
Yes,
And the
sir.
chapter is called Contrary.
Yep.
Um, it officially it came out this Sunday, January 4th, but if you've been in the spoiler community, you know we've been sitting on TCB scans for about 2 weeks now. So, what are we addressing last week's? I don't think our predictions came true from last time, right? I don't think our predictions came true.
Yeah, none of them. No. I don't think we had too many predictions. Too much stuff didn't happen this chapter. I'll say that. So,
Yeah, nah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, nothing happened. I think my prediction was what the fruit is, the importance of Ragnar, and why Loki might think Shanks is a coward. But other than that, I mean, we can get into that later.
yeah.
But starting in the beginning, chapter starts off. We're still in the flashback. Chapter starts off with the Ragnar, Loki ducking Ragnar and basically saying like, "Yo, who did that? And why was it in my way? And I'm trying to get this fruit." And this hammer is like ridiculously heavy. It's like cracking the ground. Like, whoa, pause. And the ground is just breaking. He's just like
That.
Ragnar is like ridiculously heavy, bro.
Yeah, I think it's funny that it took for Harold to get this boost to feel confident enough to fight a hammer. I think that's kind of insane. Um, Because from what it, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like it does anything that special. I guess we can assume like it's probably coated like a black thing, like black hammer maybe. But we can only tell once that's like animated or colorized. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's very
it's
interesting.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like Harold got a boost, and we already know Rox was like, "Yo, I need Harold. Me and Harold could take down the world instead of forth." Da, da, da. But it seems as though like even Harold knows that like he might not even be. I don't want to say strong enough, but like might not be worthy of Ragnar, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you at least need Conqueror's Hockey to attack the hammer to like break it open,
Yeah.
or not break it open, but to basically incapacitate Ragnar.
Yeah,
But
that's one thing I noticed when Loki does hit it, you do see Conqueror Hockey
hmm
lightning coming off of it. And it's still
hmm
crazy because Loki doesn't know where Conqueror's Hockey is. From what we know from the story, he just figured out what that was from Scopper, Gaban, in like present day. He's like,
hmm
oh, that's what that was. So like he's
Well,
got
I would actually go. I would go further and maybe say that he doesn't know what Ryuo is, like that infusion. Because
mm,
I feel like he has an idea. Like, there's no way he's like not like. There's no way he's just willingly like doing like putting Conqueror's Hockey on stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's like no way he's not doing that. But I think that
mm-hmm.
infusion, I don't think he really understands that infusion just yet. Like just like Zoro in when Gaban scolds him in that one chapter.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like Luffy pre time skip where he was using conquerors, but like he just
hmm
thought that was just like his aura, or just his that was normal for him when it came to him.
Yeah.
It was
Okay. So that was page 3. On page 4, King Harold was talking about Ragnar and just saying that not a single one of them have been chosen. Like Ragnar's like really a gatekeeper. It's like, man, I'm a gatekeeper not only of the fruit but of somebody worthy enough to wield me. And it seems that Loki's going to be that guy. Loki is that guy.
and it's interesting. Like he did not know this for sure though. That's why I think Harold's interesting. Like
Yeah.
what if your son died? Like you didn't know how strong Harold was, or maybe you can sense it as a fellow conquerors. But I think that was very insightful of him to do that. And then it leads into our boy Shanks and
Yeah.
creepy old freak ass Gaban.
Yeah. We see that they both have infusion or are using infusion, and they take off Harold's leg. I didn't realize this when the spoilers leaked, but I didn't realize this until I was reading like an hour ago when the official dropped. But they took off Harold's leg.
Yeah.
They took it off.
And also a lot of we wanna upscale our boy Shanks because a lot of Mihawk stands think that Shanks is weak. Looks like Shanks is using one hand on that sword. Hold on. Wait a second.
Hey,
Wait.
what you know they say? You know what they say? Shanks upscale, Mihawk upscale. What's that mean? We gotta put that mean. We gotta put that
No. We got we got a Hero upscale. We got a Loki upscale at the end of the chapter.
mean.
Shanks
Good
upscale.
gosh, Shanks
Mihawk
upscale.
upscale. Easy.
Hey, no, and because it's a Herald upscale, Rock's upscale.
No, hey, because Rock. Roger Gar. You know, it's a never ending upscales, bro. It's infinite upscales.
But so Shanks and Gaban come in, they take him down, and Gaban says, "Give him enough consecutive hits, and we can manage to knock him out of commission. If these guys have any weaknesses, it's against those of us who can infuse our attacks with the color of the Supreme King." So if it's not been said before, he says it right now. Holy Knights can be stopped by people who have the color of the Supreme King, but not only that, can infuse their Conqueror's Haki in their attacks.
Yep.
Basically, Ryua, what Luffy learned in Wano.
And
So, oh, go ahead.
no, I think it's not nothing we don't know. I feel like this is one thing about the flashback I don't like is them re-clarifying things. Like I think I said this before, the pacing is very slow now.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's like anything we didn't know because it was already specified earlier. But hey, Gaban is a teacher, I guess. Old people just like talking in One Piece. They just like. I think the only interesting thing is when he talking about, which again, God Knights, always taking L's, bro. Always taking L's.
So that's another thing I want to expand on. So after this, or after that scene, Gaban basically, brings up, or Shanks brings up, how you know the weaknesses of the Knights of God, Gaban. And Gaban basically lets them know, or lets us, the readers, know, and tells Shanks, like, hey, when you were on the crew, ever since a young boy, the God Knights were hunting us down, and we just basically took them out.
Yep.
We just beat them up every single time. But on the next page, he clarifies and he says that I want to. So Shanks on the next page says, while he's fighting Harold, I want to save Harold somehow, Gaban. And then Gaban says, yeah, but you were the one who taught me about the despair of what it means to become a God's Knight. Gaban says something about how basically he's never met a God's Knight with Conqueror's Haki.
Yep.
And I think that's interesting. I gotta find, what page did he say this on? Let me try to read that back in. How did you mention it? Summer says something like that. Oh yeah, so this is also a callback. Gaban, a lot of people feel like Gaban and Summers met off screen, like at God Valley, but no, it just confirms that he met him just throughout the Roger Pirate's journey.
But I think one thing that's specified too, and maybe like I'm looking into it too deep. Shanks does mention that like they think they're gods. They don't come down to our world at all often.
Yeah.
So my presumption is that I think Garland does have conquerors, but he was just sending his minions down because he just thought he was too good enough to come down to Earth to look for his child.
I agree. Another thing is Shanks says they don't come down too often. There's a scene, I think it's after the introduction of Shamrock, the chapter introducing Shamrock, that Loki basically says that like, oh, you look like so and so, and Gunko's like, hold your tongue, blah blah blah. And Shamrock comes up, he's like, that guy's my estranged twin brother. He came to the Holy Land once, but he seems to love the filth of the lower realm. Now, I know this is a callback, I don't know if that's saying that, but if Shanks were to be a Holy Knight still, it's not far off for him just not being the one who stays in the Holy Land. Just an idea I want to place in people's minds. It does not seem that you have to be a Holy Knight and always stay in Marijua. You can be a Holy Knight and just be out at sea, doing whatever. We already know that Holy Knights were out at sea trying to reclaim Shanks as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Loki, in the next scene, we see Loki fight Ragnar. Loki uses Conqueror's Haki, smashes his hammer into Ragnar. And we see that Ragnar is a squirrel. This is an allusion to Ratatoskr, Norse mythology.
Yeah.
We all know that Ragnar, basically like a portmanteau of Ragnarok and Mjolnir. Mjolnir being Thor's hammer, Ragnarok being the event that takes place that basically erases all of the gods of Norse mythology. Yeah, so on this page, this is where he says it. This is where Gaban says it. It's like, oh my god, they're fighting Gaban. They're fighting Gaban and Shanks fighting Harold. And Shanks says, how do we end this fight? And Gaban says, he's got Supreme King Haki too. That's a first. So it seems that none of the God's Knights have Conqueror's Haki. But one that has had Conqueror's Haki is Harold.
Yep.
And could be foreshadowing for Garland. Could be foreshadowing for Shamrock or Shanks. Could be.
I think the only thing that would go against that, like, let's say Garland doesn't have it, he didn't use it in God Valley because he got stumped by Rocks. But you say Rocks maybe had more mass than Garland. But I'm not gonna hate canon it too much.
Or you could even argue that maybe they got it from their mother. Say
That
that.
that is another thing, which I mean, again, slander on Garland still. Like, like, bro, tell me name Mama had to conquer it, bro. Get your.
I was gonna say, so the chapter continues. We see that Ragnar lets Loki get the fruit. Loki eats the fruit. Loki has a transformation, and then we see like a montage panels of Loki and Harold fighting. And I just want to say, so it's like a power scaling tip, right? Who seems to be fairly equal or relative to one another? Was Rocks and Harold, right?
Yeah.
Run that Elbaf that seems to be the strongest. It takes Loki one a couple. You need like three factors. Loki needed three factors to take out Harold. He needed to conquer his hockey, right?
Yep.
He needed to conquer his hockey to effectively harm or effectively claim Ragnar, right? So that's one. Then you need to have Ragnar, right? You need conquer his hockey. You need Ragnar, right? And then on top of that, you need to eat this devil fruit. This you need basically he needed like one innate ability and like two power ups.
Yep.
But it sounds like the devil fruit or the hammer did more of the work with his conqueror's hockey. And minus he doesn't even know it. He doesn't even know how to use infusion at this point. I don't believe.
Nope.
Or if he did it unwillingly.
And it may be a thing
this is
like
crazy.
you know, we've seen weapons that can sap away your hockey like Enma. So Ragnar may be doing that instinctively. Or it may have its I mean, that's one crazy thing. Could a sword just have its own hockey? Because this thing is conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Could a Zoan devil fruit item create its own hockey? Because that would be insane too. Like, if it has its own conquerors itself, and it's just stacking up, that's insane.
Interesting, man. Interesting, man. And on top of that, right? We forget that I didn't even mention Harold is like beefed up. He's souped up
Yep.
through this covenant that he has. Like Harold is like on another level right now. He really is.
And he's
really
getting beat like it's. I would say one thing. These panels, although you can follow it, I feel like Oda could have did a lot more. Like I feel like the previous parts of this, not to say that they weren't necessary, but Oda could have felt like a couple more pages to show like the full onslaught closer. But it's a one sided thing. Loki's just like treating his dad like a child, bro. Like,
yeah. Well, actually, I was about to say they are fighting, and in this panel, it says then show me that legendary power. He's Harold slicing a Loki. Dude, it looks like Loki went through a wall. Like, look,
no,
I was gonna say it didn't look one side. It looked like for him. It looked like in the beginning before he transformed. Harold was taxing him, bro. He was beating the shit out of him.
see, that's the other thing. I can't tell. I think that was literally Harold tried to swing on Loki. Loki was already transformed, presumably, because he roared, and then he just got the next thing. I thought it was just Harold getting kicked the shit out of into the wall. Cause that you see how he gets up.
Yeah.
He's healing. Yeah. So like it was one sided, bro. He probably put a little scratch on Loki, but Loki was not playing, bro. Then like the next one, he's swiping and punching him, and then he freaking grabs. He puts his entire hand over his dad's head. It's like, bro.
You're right, because he did say, "So you ate it, Loki." He is transformed. He's in that transformation. Yeah. And I'm seeing. So it looks like he's might be in his like hybrid form because he does use his hands to pick him up. So what? Honestly, what do you think he has? What do you think Loki has, bro?
Man, I don't know. I can't. I cannot. Because it doesn't really look like a dragon.
I think it looks like
it has like a little nose. It looks a little different.
Yeah, it looks like a snout. Yeah.
And I don't see any wings because he's not flying. He's just walking in there. So my guess, because it still has his horn, I think it may be like a wolf. I forgot the name. Fenrir. I think it may be a
Fenrir, yeah,
Fenrir devil fruit. Or like Oda could like mix it up, maybe have it have multiple abilities, like a mythical Fenrir, but it can like maybe it can transform, or maybe having the Ragnar can help him transform or something. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna go with Fenrir. I think it makes sense with his
I think he's got a wolf
namesake.
devil fruit too.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So are we both in agreement that the lightning is coming from Ragnar, not his devil fruit?
yeah. I think it
Okay,
has to come
okay,
from. I mean, at least from what we've seen, the only context we have is that every time he uses a hammer, lightning happens.
yeah,
Which again,
yeah,
for him to have a devil fruit and he was in chains and he stood up and
yeah,
hit the tree, insane,
yeah.
insane. That's actually insane.
So the chapter ends, and you know Loki basically takes out his father, and Loki's very very remorseful, like extremely remorseful. But I do want to bring to everyone's attention that Loki is exonerated of all his crimes. They said that he killed his father, to eat the devil fruit. That's wrong. It was his father's will. They said that Harold. They said that Loki harmed Chief Jarul. That's not true because Harold did it. You know, they said there was a. They said that he killed his. The only thing that was true was that he's killed his father, and the context around that is that Harold wanted it to happen.
Nope.
But I mean, this clears Loki of all of his crimes. But I want to say that it makes Shanks and Loki look. It looks Shanks and Gaban look kind of guilty. It's like these guys knew that this guy, this giant, this prince Loki, all of the things that happened 14 years ago around this crime, and they've kept their mouth shut for whatever reasons.
Yep.
But what really confuses me is that Loki basically flees Elbaf after this. And it's not until 6 years ago Shanks brings Loki back. Why? Why imprison an innocent man? Why? Why?
Yeah, I think that's the thing where like it's hard to. I feel like at times as a narrator, I don't think we can trust Loki fully with some of the things he says. Like it's apparent like he doesn't. Sometimes he says things that he doesn't mean. So like in the context of like when he calls Shanks a coward, is he calling him a coward because he captured him in an unfair way or he did something wrong, or is he calling him a coward because he just didn't want to fight the world government yet, right? Um, and then also no, this implicates Jarl as well
Yes.
because
Yes.
did Jarl forget? Like, does he have brain damage?
Mm-hmm.
But Jarl was still
Mm-hmm.
moving while he had a sword in his head, so I don't know.
Matter of fact, you're right. That's three people who know the truth.
Three.
Three. And they're all just like, I'm going to keep quiet about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we all know
Yeah.
that Emu knows about it because Emu was like, "Yo, Harold, like this is your fault. Like, why'd you do this?" Because he was probably aware of what was going on this whole event, but like, ah, yeah, Shanks is sus. Shanks is sus. Gaban, I don't. I'll give Gaban credence. Gaban just kind of like drama. Like I feel like Gaban just
Yeah.
he'll let whatever happen for the plot. He's one of those type of people. But
Yeah. I mean, listen, he even the only reason that he even knew about the God's Knights is because he ran into them. Not because and it was on the opposite end. He was fighting the God's Knights to protect Shanks. Shanks, on the other hand, met the God's Knights as he was basically a teenager and just wanted to go home and meet his roots. That context that really, really matters how they know them. Through what association.
and also I think Gaban definitely now that we know what he experienced, definitely negligent this arc because you sense the hockey coming from the throne room. You pulled up there with the key because you sensed something and you didn't check it out. Like I don't know, Gaban. I guess sometimes with when you know more context in these flashbacks, sometimes the characters' actions it makes them seem more stupid than what they actually are. Um, but yeah, uh, Shanks, man, Shanks is a fraud, bro.
I'm not gonna start those arguments. I'm not gonna do those arguments yet because I don't have the full thing. But I do want to say Shanks looks suspect as I don't know
He
what, dude. Looks
sus.
real suspect. Real suspect.
Shanks. Where your mom at, huh? Where your mom? Now I wanna talk about like things that kind of go over the chapter overall. So like we already talked about Loki's conqueror coding. He does it multiple times in this chapter instinctually. He hasn't really learned anything, and it's
Hmm.
crazy. Loki, and I don't know if this upscales the other half of the Grand Line, but he has not been battle tested yet either, right?
Ooh,
I mean Loki's been on this island. He hasn't explored or met any other strong people other than like the only people who's like he's gotten his ass beat by is rocks.
Rock. Very, very early in his life, yeah.
Like he ain't no giants contesting with him, and like he's just been at the top. So I mean, maybe that has to play in his conquerors, but like for him to have conquerors hockey coding, like who taught him hockey? Like where are you learning this from? Is this just like natural?
So, what do you mean? Please define what you mean by battle tested, because to me, battle tested is him going and fighting Shanks and losing. Now, I don't know the context. He could have even been jumped
Yeah.
by the Red Pirate crew. But if I'm just going to assume that it's been a one on one and Loki lost, I would say that he's battle tested and he just lost.
I'm talking
But
about currently in the flashback, not like
okay,
current
okay, okay,
timeline. Because
got you,
definitely
got you.
current timeline. I hope we see more, but I think that's the thing. Like with this chapter's pacing, I'm kind of scared because I'm like, I know we've been in a flashback for so long, but I'm like, we
Yeah,
we need like a good older. You can do like a good 3 or 2 more chapters where you just kind of go over that time
yeah,
period of him out, so we can see that more. But like I'm talking about like you attacked your dad without
yeah. He's not. He's not. I agree. He's wet behind the ears. Yeah, he has no experience.
yes.
No experience. No
So I
experience.
think this, like you were saying, like it's a combination of a little bit of his conquerors, definitely the devil fruits that he has. I feel like the devil fruits kind of boosted his chances because I think if he just, let's say he just had the hammer, he didn't have the mythical zone of Elbath, I don't think he would have won. I think he would have got.
Say that again. You said if he just had
If he
if he
just
had
had
what?
Ragnar, if he didn't ate
Okay.
the mythical zone, he would have lost. I think he would have lost.
Oh, yeah. I
Um,
agree. I agree.
so definitely there's some ability going on because mythical zones are just overpowered. They have like secondary abilities. So
Yeah.
maybe something that affects your defense. But the chapter pacing,
Um.
how'd you feel about the chapter pacing?
Um. So I'm content with this.
Mm,
I will say though, I will say because it seemed to be the end of the year, I do think the pacing has gotten slower.
yeah,
As if like oh, like let's just save a lot of the more juicier stuff for next year. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I think the chapter was fine, and I was really happy that the officials came out. Because TCBs, I mean, they're okay. TCBs sometimes I don't really trust TCBs. It's a good read sometimes if you just want something quick and fast, but sometimes they translate things and it's just like, man, what? And when I see YouTubers use it in some of these videos, I'm like, that's not actually what's said at all.
yeah,
Actually, if you're trying to make that point.
yeah.
But I wanted to bring something up to you. Do you think we're out of the flashback? I think that's. Do you think we're out of the flashback next chapter or what? I
No,
pray. I hope not.
we can't. Like we can't. I'm gonna be honest. That's like that would be so bad. Like I feel like we still need to see. At this point, it's Loki's flashback now. We need to see
Yeah. Yes.
Loki's perspective on things, because I feel like this kind of goes to another point. Um, Loki's future, whatever we see in his past, like how he was acting, how he was his running around the seas, being a menace. I feel like that will give us a lot of guidance into
Insight. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
future, because it's 2 choices we have right now. He either goes with Luffy, becomes not a Straw Hat. I think he'd be like Straw Hat Grand Fleet with his brother, or Blackbeard, because
Yeah.
Blackbeard is
Yeah.
still Blackbeard is making moves. And then there's the whole
Yes.
thing on Elbath, and it may be a time dilation thing that we don't know about. shit may be going awry outside because we're supposed to be going to Lodestar supposedly by the end of the year. It may be 3 years from now though. Let's.
So I want to bring that up actually. So I'm not going to speak of the time dilation thing, but I will speak up on the next island, and I'll talk about that Luffy or Blackbeard situation.
Yeah.
So I think that the next island that they're going to go to is whatever island um, Shanks is at currently. I
Mm.
think that the basically the Chekhov's gun or something like that that happened very early on in the chapter, early on in the Elbap arc was uh Loki basically knows where Shanks is right now, where he's headed or where he is.
Yeah.
Right? Luffy desperately wants to know that. Now, either two things. I think at the end of this arc, Shanks returns or he doesn't.
Yeah.
And in the event that he doesn't, Luffy and his crew will go to wherever Shanks is. That's what I think. It could be Lodestar. It could be damn. It could be damn Sunny Island. I don't really care. Right? That's what I think are the two things that's gonna happen with that. But with the Luffy or Blackbeard situation, I think is interesting because I do think a couple things. Right? Blackbeard is the son of Rocks, and Loki looks up to Rocks. Right?
Yep.
Loki thinks that Rocks may have been Nika, and we, the readers, may believe that Luffy is probably Nika. There's a lot of signs for Luffy to be Nika.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are a lot of signs that Blackbeard could be Nika in a way himself as well.
There are two Nikas. I mean, there's technically two
Yes,
Nikas, right? So
they're technically two Nikas. They're technically two Nikas. So I had talked to you about this. I saw that one video about like Vin Smoke, Black Leg, Vin Smoke or something like that. Black Leg. I don't remember.
mm-hmm.
But basically, Kuzan and Akainu had their fight. And I think it's possible that Kuzan came across the ancient giants. This would be, I think I sent you that photo of Punk Hazard, and then with that ancient giant symbol. It's got a world government symbol. It's got an ancient giant symbol. I think it's got a marine symbol, right?
Yeah.
Ancient giants are on Punk Hazard. I think it's very possible that Akainu and Kuzan knew this, and possibly thought about ancient giants along with the who should become Fleet Admiral, right? After Kuzan loses the fight and also loses his leg, he meets up with Blackbeard at a bar somewhere. I think it's very, very possible that Blackbeard confirmed what he knew about the ancient giants in that bar. Kuzan aligned himself with Blackbeard, and at the end of Punk Hazard, when Dressrosa is about to start, Kuzan is headed to Punk Hazard to see about those frozen giants. I think that is very possible. That's where Kuzan runs into Smoker, about to be attacked by Doflamingo, and he apprehends Doflamingo. Right? Doflamingo goes on about his business. He's like, I'm not about to fight Kuzan. Like, yeah. But I think that is a very, very strong reason as to why Loki could align himself with Blackbeard over Luffy, because I do think that Loki might be the guy who the Galley Law. I think that Loki could be the guy who leaves the Galley Law, and I think they could be frozen at Punk Hazard. Yeah, yeah.
And I
think it would be a great plot twist. Great plot twist.
I think for the plot, it doesn't. Again, it all ends equal. Like it all culminates in them confronting Emu. So I think Loki's gonna choose a side that just gets him his revenge, right? So, I think that makes sense. But I still feel like his brother and him are gonna reconcile at the end of this arc, and I feel like I don't know. I'm leaning more so Luffy just because his dad said have a good relationship with your brother. It's obvious, like, before the flashback begins, he's kind of hurt by, like, his brother just still not believing, like, he's like, yo, you really believe, like, he's disappointed in his brother. Which, I mean, we've been disappointed in his brother for a couple years now, right?
Hey, speak for you.
Hey,
I'm a Howard Dean
nah,
fan. I like Howard Dean.
Nah, Howard Dean with that kill to his, nah, man. Nah, bro. Worst design Grand Fleet member, bro. Todd has
Um,
got more actions than him, bro.
I was gonna bring something up. I forgot that point that fast. You were just talking about something. Um. Oh, when Luffy first meets Loki, Loki basically offers. He say, "If you free me, I will let you. I will attack any pirate crew on the seas. Right? Like I will do that.
Yep.
I can't say, or I don't know who it is that Luffy wants attacked, but I absolutely believe that's another reason why Loki might be the leader of the Galley Law. I think Loki can do it by himself, but I think those will be the people who are on his crew. I mean, a lot of people believe what Pluton to be a ship
Yeah.
and it to be a giant ship, right? So
I mean, what isn't Pluton under Wano?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why I say it's a lot of things going on. But I feel
a
like yeah,
lot of things.
everything is culminating in everyone going to Lodestar because Shanks has all the poneglyphs rubbings except for the last one. Blackbeard has all of them. So those three should be meeting on the way to Lodestar, presumably. And then whoever the man in black is, man, I just don't know how this arc is gonna end though. It's like, wait, we're going to Lodestar.
Yeah,
There's a freaking crisis on Elbaf right now. That means Sanji, Zoro, Loki, Luffy, when they get up there, the Godknights are about to get hog washed. They're getting washed, bro. Emu was about to be screaming like he was at the end of Egghead, bro. He about to be
think
screaming.
you think well, actually nobody on our crew. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You think Loki's gonna get Diamond Reverse or Diamond Reverse season?
I mean, if he, this is the thing about Dumb
He's in
Reverse,
his
right?
home. He's in his homeland. He's in his homeland.
I think for plot reasons, we need to get Harden to get Dumb Reverse, okay? We need Harden to get some
What?
upskill.
Why?
We
You
need
want him
a
out of here?
Harden
You want him
up.
out of here?
Cause look, think about it. Harden. He's gonna go up there with Loki and them. They're gonna all go up together, and then it's gonna be parallel to how he had to do his father, and he's gonna be crying like, bro, not again. And then he's gonna go crazy. Like Loki's gonna get like crazy. Then maybe Harden, having a little bit of emu juice inside him and get some upscale.
Emu juice is
you
crazy.
gonna you gonna have a little testosterone boost, you know what I'm saying? Like a little that ancient giant gonna come out of him. You just need a little bit of juice, a little of that emu juice, that little emu scissor. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think Loki, for all intents and purposes, it makes sense. Like I think a lot of people have been like theorizing that Usopp's gonna have Ragnar. The only way he can have that is if Loki gets corrupted. I think if Loki gets corrupted, he won't be able to use Ragnar. I feel like Ragnar's probably gonna run away. Then our boy
Interesting.
God Usopp's gonna get the hammer, go crazy, go real crazy. You know, that's
Listen, Elbaf is not over, so I do think maybe not this arc, but I do think Oda is going to give us something with Usopp. I've got faith, man. I've got faith.
he
I've
gotta
got
do
faith.
it this arc, bro. This is Usopp's. This is God Usopp's arc. If he don't do nothing, like Brook is getting more. If Brook is gonna get a flashback with Gunko,
Oh, that's right. Forgot all
it's
about
too
that
much.
Gunko
Oda is
plot line.
doing. Look, Oda is doing too much, bro. He's overextending himself. It's too much stuff going on in his arc. It cannot end at the end of the year. We're probably gonna reach like the peak of the arc at the end of the year. There's no way, unless he just like blitzes through the next chapters, which
This is my prediction for just the arc, or maybe the next year. I think by February, March, we'll be out of the flashback. If the flashback doesn't end next, I don't even know when we get our next chapter, but the flashback doesn't
14
end soon.
days. We gotta wait 14 days. It's
Okay.
2 weeks.
Damn, we're on break week. Damn.
Yeah, bro.
So I think by February, March,
Oh,
we'll probably be out of this flashback. If the flashback doesn't end this month, and then by that time, we'll basically be at the climax of the arc.
yeah,
And then, we'll see if Sanji fights Summers. We'll see if we'll see. We will see the plot develop.
yeah.
We will see the plot develop.
And the only thing I gotta say, the last thing I gotta comment on, Harold, You're a horrible father. He's a horrible father. Horrible father. Every time Loki has a flashback, it's of either when he was a child or when he was a baby. And the only flashback he had when he was killing his dad was when he was a baby. Like, Harold, you are now your son's life. You deserve to get doing by him, bro. Low key, bro. But yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, Bar, you said you low key feel like he was needed to be done in by his son, low key.
Yeah, he deserved that. He deserved that. So, um, yeah, I'm excited for next chapter. I just gotta hate that we gotta wait 2 weeks again, but that give us time, make our own little videos. Like I gotta see that Shanks video. Look forward to his Shanks video coming out, bro. Look forward to that. But yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Well, that was our chapter review. I don't think we really have any predictions for next chapter. Like I said, I already gave a prediction for the over the arc, but if you don't have anything to say, Royal, I don't got nothing to say. We can cut it right here.
Yeah, that's it, man. And yeah, for all the Harold lovers, he's a horrible father, and you're gonna be a horrible father and mother too.